probably heard it a million times and said a million ways. And well, you're gonna hear it one more way because I was really reflecting this morning. I was in prayer with my wife, and we were talking about God led us into a conversation about your words. We were talking to a physical situation. Let me see if I'm still on a small screen. I think I am, right? Let me do that. Let me do that first before I get everything in place. Let's get the video in here. It's supposed to be in here, so it'll be ready. I want to get in here before I went on, but it's all good. Add a source. Add a video. Go get the video. Videos. There it is. That's the one I want. Yeah, I wanted to crop it before I brought it in, but I'll just add it for now.
Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life.
That's something, Bruce. Beautifully put.
Look at that. Simply, beautifully put. Short sentence of things. I'll turn this off for now. Wait, I think I can crop that. Right. Boom. Crop it right here. There we go. And done. So, we were talking about the word because we were having our morning prayer time as we do, and there have been some physical issues I've been going through with my leg and stuff like that. Those of you who know, and so welcome Edwidge, welcome Dynamic, welcome Pooh again, welcome Esther, and of course Mrs. Brown. So she prayed the way church teaches you to pray. She started praying. I speak healing to the bone spur in your leg, and I said it, and she started calling things out. And while she was doing it, something happened that never really happened to me before. I started feeling uncomfortable with the prayer. So I got quiet and I searched inside myself because I don't try to tell her how to pray and get in her business when it comes to that. And I said to her, I feel funny with you naming and categorizing ailments. It feels weird. It feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. And she said, what do you mean? I said, you're speaking, and I see people, I speak to this cancer and I speak to that. And I mean, I always thought that's the way it was done, but it was like, no, you just put it on a platform and you gave it a throne and you kind of like, why? And she said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I just got my spirit. You should be speaking life. You should be speaking that I'm totally healed, totally in health, and speaking the virtue and the value and not emphasizing this thing or you're this and you got cancer and you got tuberculosis and we speak to that. Because once you do that, you give that thing a throne. And I remember the revelation that I got a long time ago, and those of you who know me have heard it, about the woman who was the expert in identifying counterfeits. She worked for the government, and she knew counterfeits better than anything and anyone. Like anybody, they couldn't trick her no matter how they tried to deceive it, use the right paper, the wrong ink, or the right ink in the wrong paper. And as soon as they bring it in front of her, she say, nope, fake, counterfeit. And so they had this whole conversation with her about how deep must she be into studying counterfeit. Like she must really be an expert on counterfeit and know how, she must really study a lot of counterfeits was the question to understand counterfeits like she did. And her response was, for those of you who know, that have never heard of it, she said, I never looked at a counterfeit ever. I never looked at a counterfeit. I never studied one. So how do you identify them so quick? She said, I study the real thing so much that when you put the counterfeit in front of me, I immediately know it's not the real thing. I don't study what's wrong. I study what's right. And that's kind of what came to me. We're approaching, and I know this is not a church sermon, but still, this is who I am, so I'm going to talk about it. We approach things from the point of what isn't instead of the point of what destiny is and what the goal is and what we're believing for. We approach things from the point of what ain't right more so than we do from the point of where we're going. So we deal with every situation as the situation at the time has the top priority, and then everything else has to be worked around the situation. And the clarity was like clear to me this morning, like we're not supposed to highlight that. Again, I'm getting older. I'm looking at, literally like the fact that, I have, been on this earth a long time, and the time I have left, with basically the years behind me are more than the years in front of me. Pushing 70, the reality is reality. Like it or not, it is what it is. And even if you tell me, no, you could live to be 145 if you wanted to, I absolutely do not want to at all. So let's just clear that off the table, right? So, I started thinking, I look at things different, I approach things different when it comes to anything, success, wealth, health, whatever. I'm going, what do we spend most of our time focusing on? And a lot of times it tends to be that which is wrong. So if you listen to this video and what's being said and the way he's putting it out there, and I'll play it again for those who just came in and didn't hear it, he's saying the words you speak over yourself, even if you think you're joking, your body, the universe, the word, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who indulge will eat its fruit. He was saying your body doesn't know the difference. Thank everybody for the gifts coming in. So if you're saying, I don't feel good, and I'm believing God for healing, well, you already said, I don't feel good. And that's the power. So I've seen people saying, man, this business is struggling, man, but we're trying to get it to the top, but man, it's really rough, it's really hard. And you've already spoke those things into fruition in the realm of the spirit. You're now working against yourself. You're working against your own words. And I'll just say to you, people will say enough to you negative that you don't need to add to it with them. So I'm gonna show the video one more time for people getting in, and I'm gonna go break it down step by step for you guys. And I'm gonna let you get in a minute and talk to me a little bit, and after I do that. But let's just do this real quick.
Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life.
That's something, Bruce. Beautifully put.
Now, very short video, but I did a full breakdown, and I'm gonna walk through that breakdown. Let me just go back to my other screen, and I'm going to walk through my breakdown for you. I got some notes that I took based on this. I'm gonna talk about what he said, but then I like to look into stuff. I like to just hear people say things and then just assume they know what they're talking about because they said it. But in the meantime, the room is open. Anybody want to jump in the room with me, please feel free to. Dynamic, I know you usually get up in here with me and help me keep my crap in order. Thank you everybody for the gifts. And yeah, let's do that. Let's see who's coming up and sitting in around the round table with me. We're gonna call it the round table. Let me see who's gonna sit up around the round table with me today and have some real conversation. This is some good stuff, and we're gonna talk about it. So let me get regulars in here, and if you are not a regular and you want to get involved and share something, you're welcome to do so. And yeah. I'll invite you again, Pooh. I know sometimes you're busy and you can't get in, but I'll still send you the invite. And let's make it happen. If you're unmuted, go ahead and mute yourself. And until it's time. First of all, let me just say good evening. Good evening, everybody who's in the room. And okay, only 2 people came in, Esther and Dynamic. Okay, well then we'll work.
Good evening.
Good evening, daughter. How are you?
Mine came I'm good. I see you on my favorite topic.
Yeah, you like that, huh? You
You
know,
know that's my bio and my TikTok. They say, life and death is in the power of the tongue, speaking greatness.
well, come on now, it's the truth. And the thing is, a lot of people that's on the outside, that's you, mama, don't don't understand just how power. I mean, a lot of people outside understand it better than the scripture said. The children of unrighteousness are wise in this generation than the children of light. So let's kick this around a little bit. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I'm gonna go to a couple of the points he made, and then I'm gonna share something that I looked up. Okay. He said, "Don't speak negatively about yourself, even in a joke, because," he says, "your body doesn't know the difference." I don't think it's the body as much as it is. Um, some people say the universe, but creation. You know, creation that was created with words. Light be, let there be light, let there be breath, let there be whatever. So, yeah, saying those negative things give life to them. Somebody is sending text messages saying they've arrived, and I didn't write nobody here, so I don't know who's arrived.
Oh, is that the Walmart?
It may be, and they come into now. So you go down and
Yeah,
grab
so
her.
that is them.
Who, Walmart?
That's them, right?
Who? I
That's
don't
them.
know.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting packages. Okay, so he says, people say the universe, but I'll say it like this: spiritual law. Spiritual law is designed to work a certain way, and people need to understand that when it comes to business and everything else. And like I said, most people that are outside the church understand this sometimes better than church folk. Like, it's not the universe, it's not even God. It's spiritual law that God put into place. So I'll give you an example. Gravity is gravity. Whether you got a good heart or bad heart, you evil, you're the sweetest, kindest person in the world, you get up on top of a building and you jump, and guess what? You go down. That's not, you know, any predetermined circumstance other than the fact that gravity exists to hold us down or to bring us down, to keep us on the ground, to keep us from floating off into space. And so therefore, if you jump, regardless of who you are and what your intentions are, down you go. It is what it is. It's spiritual law. Spiritual law is also, there's a law of prosperity, there's a law of poverty, there's a law of all of these things that are in existence. And based on how you act with them, it doesn't matter what your intention was. They do what they do. They're going to do what they do because they're laws. They're spiritual laws. You got it? There are some laws that supersede other laws. So, like you say, the law of gravity will keep you down, but the law of lift and thrust will make your plane fly. It doesn't eliminate the law of gravity. It just momentarily supersedes it. So when he says, when you make statements out your mouth, even though you think you're playing, the law of the spoken word, it treats it as real. Um, he's still texting. It's just tonight. Um, so with that said, everything I speak has spiritual law attached.